Alright, welcome to another episode of Jim's Outdoors. I'll talk about this engine a little bit here. I've had it out running it a few times, so this engine was new to me starting out this year, so I think it's time you go over and kind of look things over. I put probably, I don't know, about 6-7 hours on it probably total, but I want to check, make sure there ain't no oil leaks coming from down at the prop. Usually there's a streak right down the side of the fin, one side or the other, so if it's leaking oil. You can pull the bottom screw out of the lower unit, make sure there's no water. But what I've found is, usually if you got an oil streak, you got water. If you got no oil streak, you usually don't have any water. Now if the oil's been in there for a long time, and some condensation's happened, you probably got water. And seeing as how I just changed this when I had it out, I don't think there should be any condensation in here. But I want to give her a good look over once. We're thinking that it's running a little rich. Picked from the boat up, got a watch going down that far. That's a little heavy. I want to just check things over and bring you a little closer here. I want to just look at the wiring. Fix we had is pretty good. Got a little bit of an oil leak out of this mixing reservoir here. This is where the mix oil goes in, and then it mixes in the carburetor. I think it's just from tilting it up too high. Yeah, look, the cap was loose. So that's what that was from. Probably worked itself loose. But we want to check, make sure all the plug wires are on. Make sure we don't see any streaks down the side of the water jacket side. I don't see any. We'll check, make sure, don't look like we got any gas leaking anywhere. We got oil leaking, but that's that stinking mix oil. So hopefully at some point we're going to be updating this engine. This, even though this is an 03 Mercury 115, I want to update this to a Honda. I've had Honda everything. I want to get a Honda engine somewhere around the 120 and stick on here. So that's what I'd like to do. But I want to pull the spark plugs out. If she'd be running rich, then they'd be sooted up. So you hear a little bit of fan noise in the video. Right now the garage is 82 degrees. It was 90 when I come in here. We got a little bit of oiling, a little bit of oil on it, but that's normal for a two-stroke. I don't see any deposits. Usually if they're running really rich, you'll start to see some buildup on the electrode. Might have you a little too close here. Let's move you back just a little bit. So always make sure you put the boot back on when you take it off. I don't know how many times people brought stuff here to my shop to work on, and they took stuff apart, and then they got the spark plug, especially on a 9.9, they got the spark plugs backwards. Yeah, just a little bit of oil, no hard deposits. got a spare set of plugs I keep in here in the 3-wheeler. I used to have a 250R. Used to eat spark plugs. I used to keep 2 of them in the air box all the time. He's out riding. Got riding about an hour or 2, and then all of a sudden she just quit. She just pull over the side, rip the seat off, pull the spark plug out, stick a new one in, throw that and down over the hill. Yeah, same thing here. Just a little bit of mix oil. I'm not really seeing anything. She could be running just a little rich, but not severe enough to show any signs. So, next time I'm out on the water, I'm going to take a little screwdriver with me. Try to set them jets on that carburetor. Yeah, same thing, just a little bit of oil. I ain't seeing any water leaks anywhere. I put a new thermostat in this. Check this water jacket out, but not really seeing anything that's too. There's our repair right there. Had one of these on it, but they burned, so I just soldered heat shrink, taped it up a little bit, but I'm not really seeing anything I'm really worried about. See, these streaks were already here from last year, so there's no new ones. That's what we watch. See, all this stuff's all damp. That's all mix oil. That's all coming out of that reservoir. So I don't smell any gas. So, but see, the guy that did the engine work before me, he wrote down all the cylinder, what the PSI is on each cylinder. They're all 130. I checked them earlier when I had this engine apart over the winter, and they're still at 130. So I don't think we have anything to worry about there. But yeah, just check some things over while you got the engine apart. There's a fuse here. Let's open that up, take a look at that. Fuse is good. It's dry, no corrosion. Solenoid, make sure all the wires are tight and the nuts. Check the starter out, make sure the ground's tight. Just go over and check the wires, make sure everything's plugged in, nothing came loose. Just look it over. They said that cap was loose. There's a cap. This is the dumbest thing in the world. You can't get the cap off. You have to take the hood off, put oil in this thing. And then you can't hardly get the cap out. It's got a dipstick on it. I don't know why. You can clearly see where the oil level is. But the way this goes down in here is a big pain in the ass. Don't even want it. There we go, it's closed now. Yeah, this thing bucks a little bit of oil. I've got, I keep a towel down here when it's sitting in the garage. Rafe wants me to eliminate it. There's a way to eliminate it. You can put mixed gas in the tank. Take where the Y is, where the injection system goes in, and you can, car going by. You can take that Y out, just put a regular piece of fuel line in its place. And then you can unbolt this and take it clear off. Then take everything that's attached to this before that Y, take it off. There's a vacuum hose that has a T in it. Take the T out and just put a straight in it. That eliminates that whole oiling system. So, but I don't see anything here that I need to concern myself with too much. I may take the grease gun off camera and pump a couple more pumps into this engine a little bit. When I got the boat, it was hard steering, and I had to loosen her up a little bit. Same thing with under the steering wheel. I think it didn't get used much, but boy, I'll tell you what, this year we probably had this boat out, at least over 20 times. So it's definitely getting its use. So we're getting everything lubed up and broke in. But anyhow, this is how you check out your engine. Just a routine inspection. That's what I look for. So that's going to be the video for this week. I'm going to try to get some more videos out. And this is just one of the things I do. So anyhow, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. And get out there and catch some fish.